SRAM have released 4 new group sets today, and this is the new Rival Explore, a group set aimed at gravel and adventure riders who want 13 gears at the back, but only 1 on the front. It's wireless, it's hydraulic, it's got a new braking system, and it's way less expensive than their existing Red 13 speed. But is it anywhere near as good? Let's find out. A quick note before we continue, this video is not sponsored, we're not being paid, and this is SRAM's group set. We're just borrowing it. SRAM have 4 tiers of group set. In decreasing order of fanciness, they go Red, Force, Rival, and Apex. All of them are pretty fancy though. Even the Apex has wireless shifting and stuff. This Rival we have sits 3rd from the top, and has almost all of the features from the top end Red. Explore, or Explore, is the word they use to label their 1x versions of these group sets. Because it's for exploring. We're going to be focused on that in this video. We have a separate video going live at exactly the same time about their new Force Road group set. You can probably find it somewhere there. Compared to the old Rival, this has pretty drastically reshaped levers. They are long, which might be something to bear in mind regarding bike fit. The hydraulic braking has been upgraded, and it can be operated with just 1 finger. In quite a contrast to the old Rival, which, while being quite strong still, felt a bit spongy. They also added 1 more gear, 13 instead of 12. It's still giving you a fantastic range of gears as it did before, but slightly less gaps in between them, which some people are going to love. This Explore Rival can also come with a single-sided power meter, which is spindle-based, which means you can change your chain rings normally.
Jimmy, are you enjoying your 1 extra gear now you have 13?
It is honestly the most revolutionary thing I've ever come across in a bike. That 1 extra gear makes such a difference. I am of course joking, it makes no difference at all. Well, if you want to be really particular, in the world of 1x, the more gears you have on the back, the less space there is on a big cassette. So there is an argument for it, but in the grand scheme of things, you're never going to notice it.
Some bike racer will be like, oh, I can get in the perfect cadence for this through and off that I'm doing.
On a 1x group set?
On gravel.
On gravel?
Yeah, on Unbound.
Oh yeah, cool.
And they all end up riding on their own anyway,
all 15 of them.
Oh, this is a mic. Very good. This is the top shelf, fully loaded, power meter equipped Rival Explore group set. It's priced at 1,552 pounds or 1,754 euros or $1,743 if you're in the US. It is still cheaper than the Force or Red, but your wallet is still gonna feel the pinch. The good news, it only goes down from here. Drop the power meter and suddenly it's looking a lot more friendlier. Up to 200 pounds cheaper. And maybe you can spend that on cake.
To improve durability and strength, SRAM have had to make the derailleur full mount, which means you need a UDH compatible frame set. What does that mean? Essentially, the rear mech bolts straight onto your frame instead of having to use a traditional derailleur hanger in between, which would normally bend and save your frame in the event of a crash. The mech is essentially attached to the axle of your rear wheel, which is a very strong area of the bike. So if you do take any impacts, hopefully nothing will break. This kind of seemed a bit scary to me when I first read it, but after a bit of research online, mountain bikers seem to love it and they're not having very many issues. However, it is still quite new technology, especially on gravel bikes, and we'll see if people start having issues with it. What I can say is the shifting is mega crisp, and that is comparing this to the build we had before. So we've gone from old Rival Explore to new Rival Explore, same frame set. The shifting is noticeably better, but the price is also noticeably higher. Oh, there's one more thing that this group set has, Jimmy. Both of these actually. We're also testing a Force Road group set. Oversized pulley wheels on the rear mechs. So maybe that will mean people won't buy the big oversized, horrible looking. Am I allowed to say horrible looking? I wouldn't choose them.
You can say it like that.
I wouldn't choose them.
Oh God, we're gonna get eaten.
There's very loud dogs that have just turned up.
So the 1x crankset weighs in at 755 grams. You want to film this? Both shifters, which has a red stop at the back, 441 grams. This is a 13-speed cassette, 1046. 389 grams. What is this? This looks like a gun. I mean, you could literally shoot somebody with this. Like, look at that. So, my God. Rival Explorer mech with his huge oversized pulley and a clutch. And the battery, 467 grams. The rotors, they haven't changed them. They're both 160 front and back, 280 grams. And finally, calipers with a hose and a red plastic thingy, 326 grams. And the total is
2,658 grams.
I don't know.
The derailleur is designed to move in the event of an impact. Usually not the back of someone's foot, but like a rock or something. It will do this to save itself, so it doesn't snap. It feels so naughty doing this. It's for the video, okay? Sorry, SRAM.
The rival's smaller.
It is smaller, isn't it?
It is smaller.
Why would it be?
Unless it's tricking me because it's got a different pattern on the rubber.
No, it's definitely a bit smaller.
Those have got a button in. The Force has a button in. These ones don't.
It's going to be that, isn't it? It's the additional electrics for the button. They've had to beef it very slightly. Like, it's minimal, but it's noticeable.
The rubber feels nicer on the Force.
It feels the same to me.
You got gloves on.
If I was going to pick one of these shifters for ergonomics and comfort, I'm picking the Rival one. There's not much in it, really, is it? The Rival is very slightly thinner, slightly smaller in the hand. If you've got tiny hands, the Rival's going to be more comfortable for you.
All of it is an improvement on the old Groupsets by a long way.
They're actually about 1.5 centimeters longer than the previous version, which is huge. Like, that is a long distance to add onto a bike, especially because we know bikes typically are already coming quite long. In a gravel sense, where it's quite good is you do get this really strong grip and purchase on the bike. So if you've got to get out of the saddle and give it some welly up a big gravelly climb, you're going to have a real good grip and purchase on these shifters. Don't forget though, they are long, so make sure you factor that in if you are looking to upgrade your bike or you're buying a bike with this Groupset on.
I've got something to say. I'm riding your old bike here, Jimmy, with the previous version of SRAM on it, with the old style shifters.
Yeah.
And every time I brake, I pinch my pinky finger, otherwise known as the little finger in English, against the bars. They've now changed the design of the levers to stick out so that it misses your finger and doesn't chop your finger off, which is quite nice.
I'm sure some people, a very small number of people, will be really into that. But I also think it's solutions for problems that no one really has. I've never ridden a bike and thought, oh, I've pinched my pinky.
I do every single time.
Yeah.
Until this new SRAM Groupset
with your little gold ring on it, getting in the way.
Ow, ow,
Lord,
look at that.
Lord CADE.
Look at that. Ow, ow, ow.
So who is this for? Like everything SRAM make, it's a performance product. They only focus on that now. It's for people who are enthusiasts. I mean, you can literally connect it to an app and customize how it shifts and all sorts of crazy futuristic stuff. And serious bike racers would be very happy racing a Groupset at this level. The levers are shaped like the newest red levers, which has been out for a while. And in our video on that, we pointed out how race-focused the design seemed to be. The reach of the levers, the position you can get your hands into, lends itself to fast riding. And I think it feels great. It's brilliant to see this trickling down to the other levels of Groupsets for a lot less wedge. The levers are easy to grip, which is great for off-road riding and inspires confidence. Specifically, the Explore version is going to suit a lot of people's gravel riding needs, with a wide range of gears, 36 tooth to 46 tooth chainring options, and a teeny little 10 sprocket on the rear cassette. It's easy to operate buttons to shift gears, and the simplicity of a 1x system is just one button for harder and one button for easier. Doesn't get more simple than that. Crank lengths come in 160, 165, 170, 172.5 and 175mm, which might be a little bit limiting for smaller and extremely tall people. People on the far ends of the spectrum tend to have to look at third-party manufacturers that specialize in cranks, which is a shame, but I suppose there's all these manufacturing costs involved in the molding and that kind of thing. So this is in line with what you see from the other big Groupset manufacturers.
One very weird thing about this rear mech is that there is absolutely no adjustment screws on it. Not even a B-tension screw. You just put it on and it's in the right place, because it's always going to be in the same place in relation to the cassette because it's bolted onto the axle and your frame. Pretty cool, I guess. The only thing you have to make sure you do is look at SRAM's chart when you're doing your chain length. And this, as long as the chain length is right, your bike's going to work, in theory. Although you do have to tighten the mech up to 35 Newton meters, which is a lot. So use a torque wrench, do it properly. And then you won't have any problems, maybe. It's got attacked by a bee.
Livability. As livability for group sets goes, SRAM gets big points for being completely wireless. There's little coin batteries in the shifters and a little clip-on battery on each of the mechs, and it all talks to each other surprisingly reliably. It's shockingly good. Maybe I've cursed it now and it's going to stop working for me, but on the whole, impressed. This makes the installation and the replacement of parts as easy as it can be. They're not the only group set manufacturer to be experimenting with this, but their biggest rival, Shimano, is just semi-wireless as of today. There's still a wire running through the chainstay on your bike so the two mechs can talk to each other. I imagine there's going to be some workaround with the patents that they have involved. I'm sure we'll see the other group set manufacturers catching up in this respect too. Finally, everything is compatible with almost everything, so you can mix and match parts as long as they're the same speed from all of the different group sets, and SRAM Apex is 12 speed now, so that's almost everything. You can use less expensive shifters on older versions of the group sets. It's just great. Good job SRAM for making I hate this word, an ecosystem where it's easy to find things that work together. It's even the same chain for the 13-speed Explore versions of the group set as it is for the 12-speed road group sets. Very nice.
We knew this would be the case because of the red that they released. The braking technology from that top-end group set has now trickled down into Rival and into Force as well. In my opinion, it is the best out there. It's genuinely one finger, especially good when you're off-road. When you're on really long downhills, it stops you getting all that arm pump. I mean, well, you still get it, especially me because I'm crap at riding off-road, but it helps and it inspires confidence and it just makes you ride more fun. Whee!
So what does this group set not do compared to the high-end red? Well, it's a very short list. One, it doesn't have contact adjustment for the brake pads, so you can't adjust how close your brake pads are and how quickly they bite. But you do have lever reach adjustment still in the lever itself, which I think is more important. So you can adjust how close the lever is to your bars if you have small or big hands. It also doesn't have the bonus buttons, which are present on the Force and the red. So if you want extra buttons, which are programmable, and you could program these to operate a dropper post, for example, because they make one in this ecosystem, an axis dropper, then you'd have to buy the slightly more expensive shifters. Other than that, it's the weight, and it's got a different word written on it. The materials, the stiffness of the crank. It's things that really might not matter for some people. So again, good job SRAM for making this kind of tech available at the lower price points. We've been waiting for it and I'm glad it's finally happened.
If you're interested in Rival Explore, then you might want to check out GRX from Shimano, specifically RX815, which is electric and 1x, but only 11 speed at this time. Prices vary online. I found it for about 1,300 quid without rotors. They do make a 12-speed electronic GRX, but it's 2x only at this moment. If you have your heart set on 13 speed, then you might want to check out Campagnolo Ekar, which is their gravel-specific group set, but is only in mechanical.
So what is our conclusion of the brand new Rival Explore group set?
The braking is unbelievable. The shifting with it being full mount, I would probably argue is the best shifting I've ever seen and felt on a bike ever. It is just phenomenal. I'm not 100% certain it's because it's the full mount thing, but my inkling is that it is that. It's obviously a lot of money. It is very good. I personally cannot get over the fact that the shifters are 1.5 centimeters longer. It's huge. It's huge. For someone which is on the smaller end of things, it's so noticeable that it rules me out.
Like I said in the other video, which you should watch after this one, I really like the shifters, but then I can tolerate that position. They are very long. The braking is better because of that design. So I guess if they weren't long, you wouldn't have the really good braking.
Apparently.
I like the fact that you can mix and match parts from these group sets. So there's a lot of compatibility, and even with dropper posts, if you wanted to spend
Even more money. At the end of the day, SRAM have nailed it. You know, these group sets are absolutely fantastic. They are really, really good. Yes, they're a lot of money and some people will be really upset about that. But it's one of those group sets that you'll ride it and you'll go, oh, it's just so good. But you don't need it. Keep riding what you're riding.
And maybe wait until it trickles down even further.
What, the rain?
It stopped trickling, actually.
Yeah. Should we ride?
Ooh, yeah. Let's go.
See you later, Benny.
Whee!